What's good, good people? Soul Brother number one coming back at you from the top of the chocolate Milky Way, here to reclaim the pyramids. This evening, we're going to be taking a look at Neca's Defenders of the Earth, Ming the Merciless figure. Yeah, Ming the Merciless. That's what he's called. Now, before we get into the figure, just going to give you a little background on Ming. Ming been around for a minute, yo. I'm talking about a long time. Ming first appeared in like 1934 as the villain to Flash Gordon back in the comic strips. See, back in the day, newspapers used to have a section where they had comics in it. And that's where he first appeared. He first appeared 1934 in newspaper comic strips as the villain to Flash Gordon. This right here is what he looked like during those first appearances. After that, about 2 years later, 1936, I guess it was so popular that they decided to make little short, what they call serials. And what those were was back in the day, if you went to go see a movie, before the movie, they would have a little, I guess, 10, 15-minute little serial show about whatever. And Flash Gordon was one of them. And this right here is what he looked like in those serials in 1936. Now, he had some appearances, in between from 1936 on, but the next one we're going to look at is 1979. I believe there was a Saturday morning cartoon with Flash Gordon. And of course, you got Flash Gordon. Ming's going to be the villain because that's what he's for. This right here is what he looked like in the 79 iteration. And then the one I think people are most familiar with is the, they may be. There was a movie in 1989, a live action Flash Gordon movie that starred Ming with played by Max von Sydow, the priest from The Exorcist, and that's what he looked like in that movie. And then that brings us to this iteration of Ming from the Defenders of the Earth cartoon. I think that started in 1985. And this one and the movie, live action movie, I think are the ones that people are most familiar with. So after that little brief history lesson, we're going to get Ming out of his package and see what he's working with. Got Ming out of his package. But now before we take a look at the accessories that he comes with, we're going to take a look at the box. I forgot to do the packaging on the box. I always want to take a look at that, see if just in case it's your first time or something. But it's pretty cool box. You got a slight wraparound with the character down here on the bottom right corner. Defenders of the Earth logo, picture of the character, name of the character, and what number he is in the series. And on the back, you have the cross sale in the form of pictures of the other, the four Defenders of the Earth and Ming. And then a picture of Ming here and a little bio right here. You can pause and read that if you want. And then it has, this is cool right here. It had who did the sculpting, the photography, and all like that. So that's pretty cool right there. But as far as the packaging, that's where that goes. Now, he comes with a gang of accessories. Going to start off first with, he comes with this pistol, laser pistol if you want. I think all of the Defenders of the Earth action figures come with this pistol. No paint apps, it's just, it looks like it's black, but then it has purple on it. So yeah, I guess it would be black with purple paint apps, for shading. And it comes with two blast effects. Comes with one short one. Goes on the pistol like so. Then he comes with a long one. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Impact point there. Comes with a sword. This is a nice sword here. You got gunmetal gray blade with a little emerald. That could, I guess that'd be a red emerald in toward the point. This handguard here. You got purple right there. This is a nice sword. It's not just a regular old sword. They put, it looks like they put time into that sword there. That's a pretty nice looking sword. Not to be outdone, he has this staff. The shaft is black. You have little gold rings down at the bottom. And this dragon's head. That's what really set it off. That dragon's head. Got the red accents on the eyes, the tongue. This staff is what set it off for sure. And then he comes with one extra hand and with a ring on it. And I think I remember when I was referencing Ming back in the day, and he may have been modern too, but I remember referencing he didn't have any powers, but sometimes he was shown having a magical ring, and that I'm thinking that's what this hand is for. Even though I don't know why they couldn't. Well, you know what? It may not, yeah, because he has it on his hand too. So maybe it's just an extra hand, just one extra hand, whatever. So after that, we're gonna take a look at the figure, and I just think the details on this figure top notch. Before we get into that, let's get into articulation. You're not going to be able to get 360 on the head because of this collar here, that headdress, but it can look up that much, look down that far. See how far we can get the T-pose on. I heard bad things about these Neca figures, that they were real brittle, but so we're just going to be careful. T-pose goes up about that far. You do have bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, but they're not pinless, but who cares? Not really a big deal to me whether they're pinless or not, just so long as they're there, double jointed. And I found out what that joint is called, the ab crunch. People, some, different figures, they might have a diaphragm cut, but he has an ab crunch that allows him to bend forward that much. And then he goes back about that far. I don't know if he has waist swivel. He swivels at the waist. No drop down hips, I don't think. You can get the leg to kick 90. No thigh cut. And this is another way you got to be careful, because I heard a lot of breakage happen. He does have double jointed knees. So want to be real careful. That's the range on the knees, the double jointed knees. And he does he? No boot cut. Nope. So we don't get a boot cut there. We do get the ankle pivot, goes down that far. Toe articulation goes up that far. And you got a little rocker on there. But that's about it for the articulation. But the detail on this figure, this is by far, out of the Defenders of the Earth figures that I do have, this one and another one I'm going to review later, as far as detail, got the other two beat. And I'm pretty sure you know, if you're familiar with the Defenders of the Earth, which ones I'm talking about. From the face sculpt, you just look at that face sculpt. Those sculptors did a very good job on that face sculpt. His goatee, the design of his headdress, the whole design of his whole suit is nice. He just did a real good job on that, in my opinion. You do have, even though you have the pin elbows, they are a different color. They could have made that the same color, but whatever. The gauntlets, you got gold and black with red. The hands, they're on a in and out pivot joint. And you do get 360 on them. Got the nails painted black. And his the piece that wraps around the center here doesn't come off, but this looks good as well. I think they really went all out on Ming. And then they gave him the soft goods cape with the wire in it. Wires running along the side and the bottom. So you can, pose this cape with the wire. It's not just hanging there. It has a wire in it for different posing effects. And I like the color, how it's red on the inside and then kind of purple on the outside. Top-notch figure right here. Top-notch figure. And we're going to get him geared up how I want to display him and conclude the video. And here we have Ming all geared up how I'm going to display him. I got him with his staff. Just had that staff looked too good for him not to be holding. And his sword in his other hand. And one other thing, he does have boot swivel on there. It was just kind of tight, so I got it to work in, because I remembered on my other ones, I was like, wait a minute, these figures do have boot swivel. But so yeah, he does have it. But here's a closer look at Ming, all decked out, ready to do Ming stuff. Ruler of the planet Mongo. This is a nice figure. Real pleased with that Ming. Real pleased. I recommend you go out and get you one if you ain't already got one. But that concludes my review of Neca's Defenders of the Earth Ming. And remember, put a glide in your stride, a dip in your hip, and we can all wait on the mothership. Y'all be easy.